Who is going to win the World Cup? I have no idea, but it's not going to stop me from making some predictions. Kia ora, you are watching Distracted Sports. I'm Tony, and today I'm not reading from a script. I don't have a 7-foot whiteboard enthusiast next to me as it acts as kind of like a comfy blanket. Today it's just me and you, getting to know each other a little bit better as I make some bloomin' rugby predictions. Now, predictions are a fool's game. You often get them wrong, and when you do them on YouTube, people just yell at you in the comments. So feel free to yell at me, but just know it's not Percival. I don't know what Percival is. That's like an old person's name. Personnel. If I don't pick your team, if I don't pick your country, it's not because I dislike you. You and I can still be friends. I'm friends with lots of people from countries that have bad teams. I know English people, I know Welsh people, and they've got terrible rugby teams. But today, I'm going to be making some picks, and I don't mean to alienate you. Let's still be friends after this. But feel free to leave me your comments. Tell me why I'm wrong, but let's keep it carp high. Why don't we? But anyway, what am I using to make these predictions? It's the Rugby Pass Road to the Final. So I guess it's just going to fill in all these spaces for me generally. So let's look at Pool A first, okay? Because the World Cup is upon us. It is not quite upon us. We're not being sat on by it. But it's almost here. It's tantalizingly close. The teams are all doing their welcome ceremonies. They're all wearing ill-fitted suits, so you know it's real rugby time. Bad suits means it's rugby time. But let's look at Pool A. Who will win Pool A? So this has my team, New Zealand, the All Blacks, France, of course, Italy, Uruguay, and Namibia. Now, I think, as we all know, the opening game is going to be France versus New Zealand at the Stade Francais. Stade de France, I should say. And it's going to be a massive game. And I think whoever wins that game essentially is going to win that particular pool. No offense to Italy. I really enjoy watching Italy play. I think Capuzzo is one of the best fullbacks in the world right now. And his youth and exuberance is just one of the reasons we love to watch, running rugby. He's brilliant. But I just don't think they have the team to be able to threaten either France or England, two of the serious powerhouses of world rugby. Still a very young team. They could, 2027. And maybe if they're in a slightly nicer pool like Pool C and Pool D, they could be a chance of getting out. But I think Pool A is going to be a bridge too far. But in terms of who do I have winning? Well, after New Zealand's absolute pounding at the hands of my friends, the South Africans, I think they'll be really wanting to, really make up for that. Come back with a vengeance, essentially. And I think Jason Ryan will have that pack of forwards really hurting after that experience, and they'll be really wanting to make a statement performance. I know the France is going to be fired up. It's really, really hard to pick, but I think a little bit of bias is coming into this, if in all seriousness, but I can't go past New Zealand. I'm going to pick them to win that pool, and I don't know where they're going to end up here, but I think they're going to fill in one of these spots on the outside, of course. So second, I'm going to have France, of course. Now let's look at Pool B, the pool of death, which I think is a rather, it's just loading here, but Pool B, we know who's in Pool B, so we've got Ireland, South Africa, Scotland, Tonga, and Romania. Now for me, there are 3 serious contenders in this particular pool, but only 2 can go through. It's like some sort of reality television reality television show. Only 2 can come through. There's not one survivor, there's 2. Tonga, I think they've got some quality players in that particular squad. Charles Piutau coming back into their what's his name? That's great, Tony. The guy that used to play for the Warriors. That's who I want to talk about right now, but I can't remember his name. Serious quality rugby analysis you're getting on this video. But yeah, they could tip a couple of teams up in here on their day. You never know what's going to happen at a Rugby World Cup. But Scotland, for me, this is an unfortunate pull for them to be in. But I can still very much see a world where they get, they get one over the South Africans or even the Irish on their day, with Finn Russell being in the form that he's in. Duhan van der Merwe, seriously one of the best outside backs in the world right now. Like, just scores some absolute screamers of tries. But I don't think the smart money is on them for get out. But to win this particular pool, I'm going to give it to Ireland. Sorry, South Africa. I know that'll already get hate in the comments probably. I'm giving it to Ireland due to the fact that they're on such an incredible run. I think it's 12 victories in a row. That includes victories over France, a series win over New Zealand in New Zealand, showing they can win away from home, and also a win over the South Africans on that side of the world. So I'm going to give it to them. And South Africa, I'm putting you through too. All right, let's go over to the other side of the pool, the kiddie pool. Over here, the kiddie pools, which are Pool C and Pool D, but there is still a huge amount of intrigue in these particular pools, just due to how even all these teams are. You know, you can't pick a winner, which is kind of what you want. I know we've all bitched a lot about how on earth did World Rugby screw it up so horrendously badly that all the top 5 teams are on one side of the pool and only 2 of them can go past the quarters. It does seem like they screw the pooch, but what it does do is it builds immediate intrigue into the whole tournament. You know, everything is on a razor edge from the very, very get-go. And in this pool, Pool C, we've got Wales, Australia, Fiji, Georgia, and Portugal. Now, Wales have been playing, how do I put this? Shit. Of late. Not good at all. And Australia have also been playing like an Eddie coach team he's only been in control of for about 3 or 4 months, 5 months or something like that. Hard to pick. Australia still seem like they have a good team in there. Like, they have moments where you're like, geez, Mark Nawani-Tawasi looks good. Or you look at Carter Gordon does something nice. You're like, oh, there's some quality there. There is some quality there. A very young team, you know, not taking Quay Cooper or Michael Hooper seems like a very odd decision to me. But he hasn't taken them. There must be some sort of reason to that. But are they going to go to the pool? But for me, I think they are. If I say for me one more time, I was about to say punch myself in the nuts, but I'm going to say it again. And I don't want to punch myself in the nuts. So just live with me saying for me. Please, can you just live with me doing that? Can we just accept each other's faults, you know, for once? And look, Fiji or Wales. Fiji and Wales have had so many incredible clashes. They had an amazing clash was it in 2007 where Fiji got the better of them. I think losing Caleb Muntz to injury is a massive, massive blow for the Fijians, but I'm going to put them through. Sorry, Wales. Cymru unbeath, which means Wales forever, but not Wales today, I'm afraid. Not today. Pool D, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we've got here. It takes a little bit of a loading time here, Rugby Pass. You might want to... But thank you for providing this free bit of software. Pool D, England, Japan, Argentina, Samoa, Chile. England, once again... You know, not once again, but they're coming into this World Cup just like a lead balloon. Just there's no air in them whatsoever, and they're just sinking to the bottom of the pool. I think they're probably still going to get out of this pool, but I'm going to I think maybe it might be Argentina winning that first game, which probably is going to put them in good stead. And who's going to come second? England, for whatever reason, do pretty well at World Cups. They know how to win games. Obviously, in 2015, they completely pooped the bed when they didn't exit the pool. That could definitely happen again. Samoa, with Lima Sapawanga and some quality returning players, could do particularly well. But I think the smart money would have to go on England and all their resources. And some cracking players, but they're just not gelling for whatever reason. But I'm going to put them through. Just by the quality of the rest of that pool. Now, where does that leave me? Okay. Who will win quarterfinal 1? Australia or England? Holy smokes. I need to drink some wine to think about this. This is kind of the soap opera quarterfinal. This is the one where the jilted ex-lover has to come up against his, old flame, essentially, and just look them right in the face and... Oh, imagine the press conferences that week. It's going to be massive. And that's kind of what you want to see, isn't it? The drama, the human intrigue. Australia versus England. And, there's something special about Australia versus England clashes, but it's on the cricket field, the rugby pitch, or even in, league, or most sports. Watch them play tiddlywinks against each other. It's probably going to be personal. But I'm going to give it, just on the strength of both teams have not been getting a lot of wins this year. But England have just been looking so lackluster. I think Australia are having moments, But England are just sinking further and further lower every time you watch them, and it just seems like the team doesn't have the morale. So I'm going to give this to Australia. So Australia going through to a semi-final, I think that's going to be quite a coup. Well, not a coup, but I think it's going to be a fairly fair result. Not fair result, a good result for Eddie, and I think that will mean he can retain his job. Who is going to win quarterfinal 2? Ireland versus the host France. France are the favourites. Ireland are the number 1 team in the world. This is an absolute meeting of two massive powerhouses of the game. Ireland have shown, as I said before, that they can win away from home. They've got so many victories in a row, and I think they will still be unbeaten to this point. Winning is a habit, and it's a habit they're not going to lose, and it's going to be au revoir to the French, and well, according to my opinion, which again is bullshit. Please remember that. Quarterfinal 3, which is going to be our friends Argentina versus Fiji. Who saw that coming? I didn't. But here we are. Once this loads, my golly goodness. Would you load, would you? There we go. Who's going to win this? I'm going to give this to Argentina. Michael Cheika getting through. That'd be amazing. Imagine if Argentina played the Wallabies in the final. That would be the storyline around that would be Cheika versus Jones, 2 Aussie coaches, but I don't think that's going to be the final that we're going to see. New Zealand versus South Africa, the old foes going at it once again. The brothers in the backyard, ready to bash the crap out of each other. 1-1 this year, and 2 pretty convincing victories over each other. The All Blacks, wiped them off the park in the early stages of the Mount Smart game and came away with a 15-point win. But the South Africans made absolute mincemeat out of them with their 7-1 split, which they may choose to do this again. But I feel as though if we are able to get parity at scrum time, which I think at that time of the tournament will be revved up and ready to do, we will get through. And that's a huge quarterfinal. Huge quarterfinal. Sorry about the strange noises I'm making. You can see why I've been divorced. This is a little slow, Rugby Pass. It just means awkward time between you and me where we have to chat and get to know each other a little bit. I'm going to try and make some more sort of different kind of content. I can't write these sort of scripts and edit the crap out of videos like I usually do throughout the Rugby World Cup to be able to react to what is actually going on. So I'm going to have to do a bit more of this sort of stuff. Tell me what you think. Leave your comments below as to what sort of content you'd like to see me make. What would you like to see me make? Yeah, if you say, Tony, can you just stop making stuff? I'm sick of seeing you on my feed. That's a bit mean. But, comment away. That's okay. It's all good for the algo. Comments. All right, hurry up, would you?
1 eternity later.
Anyway, so here we go. It finally loaded, and I've had to cut that because it took so long. But who will win semi-final 1? Australia or Ireland? It's a pretty clear choice. I'm sure you can. Ireland has just been a far more dominant team over the last 4 years. I think it's really going to be a great result for Australia. But the plucky Australians, they're battlers. They could do anything, but smart money goes on Ireland. All right, going through to the final. There we go. There we go. So which brings us through to Argentina versus New Zealand. I think the last time these guys met in a World Cup, well, they met in 2011 at a quarterfinal, which was a very nervy old game if I remember it. Piti Wepu thankfully brought us kicking boots that day, but we got through that. And in this particular semi-final, I'm going to give this to my team, New Zealand. I think they put 40 points on them earlier in the year. And it's weird, isn't it? The quarterfinals are a lot harder to pick, but it's pretty clear that they will be able to take this out. Well, they're the smart money to be able to take that out. All right, which takes us through to the final. Ireland versus the All Blacks. A bit of a repeat of last year's very famous series. I'm sure the All Blacks will be looking to get dominance over the Irish and bounce back, get a bit of payback after the hurt and pain and suffering they put them through. The All Blacks are a very, very dangerous team that can attack from anywhere and on their day can put many, many points on most defences in the world. but the defence of the Irish is just so well organised. Their attack is sharp. They're just a very, very crisp team. So I think this is going to be a very, very, very significant day for Irish sport as Ireland win. Oh, God, not the semi-final. Tell me, who's going to be the champion? Who'll win? Ireland, Ireland, Ireland. Together, standing tall. Who won the bronze final? I'm going to give it to Argentina. Okay, well, there are my predictions, ladies and gentlemen. They are most likely wrong. We might come back and review this at the end of the tournament to see how wrong I was. Or maybe I would be like, oh my God, it was incredible. I was so right. But there we go. We have the champions, Ireland, taking it out. That'll be a massively, massively famous day for Irish sport and Irish rugby. As someone of Irish descent, that would be pretty amazing. But I think, just getting out of their pools is going to be hard. Getting through that quarterfinal against France or whoever it may be, or us, that's going to be hard. The semi-final should be it should be a fair bit easier, but they're going to come up against some tough stuff in the final, as they should. So it'll be well-deserved champions. But yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching whatever the strange kind of weird content that I've made just now. I hope you do enjoy it. If you did enjoy it, please like. You can also subscribe if you like, if that's your kind of thing. If you're a subscriber of things, a subscriber of YouTube content or YouTube channels, why don't you just give it an old click and subscribe to this one? I'd appreciate that. Anyway, once again, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate your time. Enjoy the footy over the World Cup. Be good to each other in the comment sections and stuff. We all love rugby. It's not personal. It's just fun. And let's just have a lot of fun with it. Anyway, haere rā, ka kite anō. Mwah!